Hi, everyone. I'll go through that whole thing again. After what was supposed to be a 2-week, but ended up being a 3-week hiatus for Dire Bear Adventuring Company, we are finally back, and it's Monday night, so that means it is Escorts time, and I am rejoined by these wonderful people around me. While a lot of them who are all itching to get back to playing the game. While we did take a break, I had ample chances to run games, but not necessarily playing any of them. And speaking of new games, we have a new one coming up on Wednesdays here on Dire Bear Adventuring Company on Dire Bear GM. It is Monster of the Week, and it is being run by V, who will start not this week, but next week with Monster of the Week. So tune in on the Dire Bear channel at our regular time of 6 p.m. Central, running until 9 p.m. Central, give or take. Let's see, we've got a lot more coming up. Esper Genesis is still ongoing on Tuesdays, at least for a little while longer. It should be wrapping in March, and then we're talking to Jason about extending the offer for him to continue to play on our channel. Again, he is with the Nerd Eternal Network. I can never say the name right. The Nerd Eternal Network. If you haven't checked him out, he's got a really fantastic podcast. Go check it out. They are all things geek and pop culture related, comic books, movies, everything, including TTRPGs. On Thursdays, we still have Curse of Strahd for at least a little bit longer. Two more
weeks, I think, at most. And then we're going to have a 2-week break, and we'll be back in February with the start of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus.
Excellent. So you can catch that here on Thursdays. Again, same time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I am still running Obscurum for 3 more weeks. We are starting back this Wednesday, and then we have 2 more shows after this Wednesday. And then we will be taking a season break. We will start our new season up sometime before summer. That's all I got for you. We're actually in discussion with him on when we want to. However, I will be running Obscurum, the City of Mist real play show, and it is a hit, and everybody loves it, so we're going to continue to do that on Wednesdays over at We Are Nerdsmith. So you have plenty of opportunities to check things out. In the meantime, it has been a very productive month, kind of, for Dire Bear Adventuring Company in and of itself. Coming up in February, you can catch a large portion of us at the upcoming Winter Fantasy for Baldwin Games in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I know myself, V, and Maddie will be there. I don't know, Steve, are you going to try to make it or no? Yeah, Steve will be there as well. I think there might be others that are trying to come, but I think that some of the travel accommodations, because Fort Wayne is not the most central place to kind of land and drive to. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere.
It's Indiana. What can I say?
Indiana's kind of in the middle of nowhere in and of itself.
Not a single airport in the Northeast wants to go to Indiana.
I don't think anybody in the Northeast wants to go to Indiana except for those that are trapped there.
I'd argue Ohio.
Yeah, I was going to say Ohio.
Now, I've been to Columbus, and I like Columbus. And that's all I've got about that.
Yeah. I mean, we all have our flaws.
Right.
Falling rocks, man.
Let's see. Other than Winter Fantasy in February, I'll be at Origins, speaking of Columbus, Ohio. I'll be at Origins later in the year around June. We also has the Dire Bear. I don't advertise it as often as I should, which should be like every show. If you want a game run by a professional GM, that is what our service is. We are a network, but we are also a professional GM service. To that effect, I have picked up 2 new clients, one every month on the first Tuesday and one every other Saturday. So that is also big news. There are changes coming up to how the Patreon is done, which means it will actually be posting stuff to the Patreon. Please support us in all that we do. Any of your support goes back to paying for licensing for the software that we use, all of the different tools and things like that. And it also helps to pay some of our staff. So keep that in mind, please. That also buys things like cool music and opening intros and what have you, and artwork, speaking of. If you are in our Discord channel, and you should be, there's no reason why not to. It's free to join. But our Discord channel, we have purchased artwork for everyone. That do we have it actually? Not quite.
Right, it's all playing on the stream.
It is. So you can see the artwork that I purchased there from Zone on Twitch. It's Zone. I have to go and look at it again. I'll make sure to post something up there, though. Please go commission really, really reasonable rates for fantastic artwork. So that was what I was working on over the holiday break as well. Okay, enough prattling on. Let's do a little quick recap. Hannah the Halfling. No, I did not intend to do that. But anyways, Hannah the Halfling has hired the crew to escort her to the Achaemenid Moors, a place of historical significance due to the battles that kind of raged there. And they have set off along with the caravan leader. His name is Lambert. And they have made their way through, or leaving Jopus Landing, heading north through the forest where they encountered a hill giant. They took down the hill giant, and Tangaroa lovingly earned a nickname, Duraka, which they've translated to be something along the lines of Rockhead, because of his proclivity to run headfirst into danger without thinking twice about it. As they traveled into the Achaemenid Moors themselves, encountering fallen outposts and old ruins, they took up camp close to one of the walls that kind of separates the country from the north and the northern and southern parts of it. There they found an outpost. The lights that bewitched them in the night, bouncing and bobbing and weaving, took a few of the watchers over towards one of the old outpost buildings, where they fought a ghostly specter, a wraith that did some damage, but our crew, our intrepid adventurers, came out the other side of the fight all the better for it. And as they rested, restoring and recovering, that is where we are going to be picking up from right now. As the sunlight hits the moors, the low grasslands with not much coverage in there, causing steam to rise from it, creating this blanket of vapor across the ground that comes up to about most of your ankles. The lights that have been playing, flickering off and on throughout the night, have all but given way to nothing but the dawn as the warmth of the sun starts to strike out, doing very little to actually warm you, and you realize that this morning is nice and cold. Ezra, you are recovering. You find yourself to be more famished than usual. As though energy completely sapped from you. There are stories that are bouncing around between the crew of a caravan about the ghostly lights and the things that they saw. Lambert speaks to them in a rough language, not Dwarven this time. It seems to be like a mix of some different languages. And they all sort of snap to, and you hear them grow quiet, if not still sullen, about the events. As you all eat breakfast, pack away your things, and gather your wits about you, Hannah seems fit to be tied. She is sitting in the back of the wagon with a map opened in her lap, and she is carefully looking at the plots and the courses that she's taking. She stands up in the back of the wagon every once in a while, putting her hand to her head, and looking around, shielding her eyes from the sun. And then you hear her talk to Lambert. We're going to have to break from the track here pretty soon. We'll need to go that way. He reports back to her that he is a bit reticent to break away from the main road. The old tracks and roads through the Achaemenid Moors may cause you to get lost, tumbled, or completely disoriented. She assures him, though, that this is the only way to get to their target goal. And if she is to find what she is looking for, she has to get to, and the only words that she says, not a name, the keep. I have to get to the keep. who speaks Dwarven here? I know that Satael.
He's not entirely fluent. He just knows phrases and some words here and there from being raised by a Dwarven father.
Okay. Does anybody actually speak Dwarven though? Nope. Okay. As you are moving along,
comprehend languages, but
if you would like to, you can. As they are having conversations, some of the porters are having conversations with themselves, looking to you all, and then quickly having another, more conversation.
You know what? Satiel will go over to them. It's like, "Hi, so how you all doing?"
We're fine.
Okay.
What do you ask?
Oh, I just like to check up on people now and again. Is there anything you all might need while you're working? I know it's early.
They're casting their eyes not at the wagon, but off into the distance. One of them says something to the other one, and the only word that you hear is trail. That's like the only word you can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not sure. The other one responds back, and you hear the word worry.
He'll take a moment of that. Can I make an insight to try to get a general feel of the phrase to see what kind of emotions being conveyed by the phrases they're speaking?
Absolutely, you may.
That is natural 17 plus 5. Great, 22.
Okay. This one gives you the absolute feeling of, well, I shouldn't say absolute feeling. There's a feeling of dread and trepidation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, given what you've seen last night here in the moors, you can kind of get the idea that they are not fond of being off of the main road.
Okay.
But catching what Hannah was saying earlier, you know that their route is going to take them that way.
Okay. He'll note that, and he'll just sort of come over, just put a hand on either of their shoulders. Just not like a squeeze kind of thing, just more like a
pat.
It's like, it's like,
and cast calm emotions.
Nah, he does not know that spell. He'll say, "Look, I can understand you might be afraid going off the main roads here, especially after what happened last night. My group and I will do the best we can to protect you from things that happen of that nature. And I myself am very good at remembering where I've been and where we might need to go to retrace steps. So even if we do go off the path, I will be able to remember how to get back. So I can lead us back if me. So just try to keep your heads up, and we'll do the best we can to do right by you, as you do right by us."
One of the porters says something in their dialect, and the other one kind of gives a nervous chuckle, and then says something back as kind of a retort, and that gives both of them a good laugh, and then they pat you on the shoulder, and then they continue walking. Something about eating.
Okay, and he'll go back to the rest of the group. It's like, well, that went well.
I really kind of wish you would have cast comprehend languages, but that's okay. So anyways, as you move along, a couple of the porters have taken kind of like to you, as they call you affectionately, Duraka, like staying near you and asking you questions in sort of the broken common that they know.
Like what? Like what are they talking to me about?
One of them asks you about your tattoos.
Oh. Well, we receive our tattoos every time we have successfully completed a battle, and there's some sort of demonstration of what was achieved in said battle, or what god we were defending, or the people we were fighting, and the best warriors have the most tattoos. My father is head to toe covered in tattoos. I'm young.
They nod, and one of them looks perplexed, and the other one starts saying something to him. And then as he like, oh yeah, hey, and you watch as he pulls out what looks to be like a pickaxe, and on the handle you can see that there are like small notches cut.
Is that like your way of demonstrating a similar thing, such as
Hey.
are these battles?
Hey. One line for fallen enemy. And he's got like 5 notches on there.
Very interesting. I enjoy it. History fascinates me. I don't know a lot about it, but I love learning.
They continue on in just idle conversation again, broken up, mostly just trying to learn more about you because they're asking questions that it doesn't always come out the way that they hoped it would. They're trying to ask you questions about the fins and the gills, and do you need water, that sort of thing. Mellow.
I would like to say also as long as breakfast goes on, Satiel will ritual cast comprehend languages just so he can keep track of what's happening.
Okay. Mellow, some of them are you playing anything or are you just walking?
I'm going to be fumbling something with some instrument or another. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be string or wind.
Okay. Make a decision.
No.
Roll the die.
All right. That's wind.
Okay. Or roll a performance check
I'll
for
say,
me.
before he does, I'll just put a hand on his shoulder and it's like, please just try not to scare them off. And I will cast guidance on him and give him a D4 to that performance roll.
All right. So that's a 19 on the die plus 2 plus, 5?
Nice.
Heck yeah.
The melody that you play is actually kind of just coming to you as you are marching along. You're not really sure where it's coming from, more like it's inspired by the area that you're in. But as you play, you watch as a few of the porters are starting to kind of gather around you. And Lambert, like, he is marching back towards you. You can see him as you're playing, and he hisses at you. Stop that melody now. Do you wish to draw everything in the Moors towards you?
I guess not.
The rest of you, get back to your posts. And he turns and he kind of like shoots you a look over his shoulder, and the rest of the porters kind of break away with a word that you're not sure of, but it sounds like an apology. Or maybe a thanks.
I'm welcome.
That's
a few more, yes it is. A few more hours of travel, and you watch as Hannah is bouncing up and down in the back of the wagon and pointing. At this point, you watch as though the mostly north kind of west passage that you've been walking along, it's not perfectly straight, but it's pretty much straight, veers off. The rut that you've taken yourself into, and that is the only way to describe it, is 2 strips of dirt that have slightly grown over with grass amongst tall grasses on either side and down the middle. If you've ever lived in anywhere that has a country, we're all familiar with the country roads that are nothing more than dirt paths with grass in the middle.
Country roads.
West Virginia.
Stop it.
I thought of, I just stayed quiet. I was thinking it too.
Thank you. The trail that you're in or on has not been used in some time, and as such, the wagon bounces up and down with the threat of cracking underneath every bounce that happens. Hannah is in the back of the wagon, but she is giggling and holding on. She is giddy with delight and excitement. Lambert looks even more somber than before. The wagon drivers are taking it slow, and you watch as most of the porters have now unsheathed their spears or pickaxes or simple weapons that they have. Most of them are keeping themselves prepared. The grass on either side of the road rises up now to become almost a sea of like gray, heather grays around you. You can see that it's only about up to maybe your knee for most of you, maybe a little bit lower, a little bit taller, depending on your height. And the wind rustles it every once in a while. Even though it's a slight breeze, it seems to move the grass almost as unearthly, shaking it and moving it, creating ripple effects across the ocean of grass on either side. It's an unmarred landscape. There are no gullies or spots where it's bare. The grass is pretty solid and thick on either side. Eventually, you find yourselves moving down a sort of a steepish rise, probably at about a 45-degree angle. And you come down around, and the grass follows the hillside down and opens up. And before you, finally, you can see the first thing that impedes the solid slab of grass. And those are tumbled stones. It may have once been the wall of a keep or the keep itself. And from the position here, you can see that it is not a small or insignificant thing. The remains of large walls that would surround this thing at roughly 100 yards from the widest point, and merely a scant 50 from the most narrow spots. You can see the walls of a keep, the keep itself a massive thing, or at least it would have once been. Now the ceilings are where the ceilings would have been, and the upper floors are now exposed to the air and the elements. The stones have been worn and weathered away, turned like white bones made of stone out here in the midst of this. The rooms that are left create great cavities in this grassland. And as you approach, Hannah eventually jumps down and starts scurrying, her small legs carrying her forward. She's excited to see what's here. The sound of creaking leather as people grip weapons tighter kind of comes around you. And I'd like for everybody to roll a perception check, please.
Okay.
Can I also cast Divine Sense?
You may.
As an aside, Zora's casting Detect Magic.
All right.
First for me, and then for my owl.
11 on the perception, but I will also cast Divine Sense.
Okay. And Divine Sense allows you to check undead.
Undead, fiend, and celestial within 60 feet.
Okay. How long does that last? It's just an action, isn't it?
It's an action.
Okay. And it lasts just one round.
Your turn. Yeah.
Okay.
Satiel got a 16. The owl got a 20.
Is this Dari?
24 with a nat 20.
All right. Ezra?
17.
Okay. Zora?
13 for Zora, 11 for Axel.
Okay. Mello?
16.
Okay. And then you had an 11, right, Tenga?
Yes.
Okay. The site that you're approaching, Zastari, from your perch and view, you can see that looking at how the stones tumbled, you get the idea that the tallest structure in this place would have been nearly 80 feet in the air, a giant spire. All that remains of it is about 40 feet, and then the broken stones laying at it as though some child of great size just kind of toppled it over.
Been having great luck with these giants.
You notice that there has been no movement or any sort of noticeable activity to this location in what you can only estimate as some time. It seems to be undisturbed by things. Tangaroa, you do not pick up anything within 60 feet of you. Okay. Zora, you do not pick up any magic from this location. As you get closer... Say again?
I think cool.
Okay. The caravans draw closer and closer. The two wagons that are there with you circle the outside, or 3 wagons. Sorry, they circle the outside, and you can see that they are fully coming to a stop. No, it was just 2 because you had the 2 of them parked like this, and then you had the canopy between. Okay. They stop outside the walls, just as though they were going through the gate proper, right in front of the gate. There's no portcullis or gate, but for some reason this is what they do, as though paying honor and homage to the ancient structure that once stood there. The walls themselves now nothing more than lumps of stone and small rises here and there. Hannah excitedly reaches and jumps into the wagon, her feet scrambling as she gathers up a pack and she slings it over her shoulder. You can see a small hammer, probably about the handle of it about that long, and it's about that wide. And she takes off. You can see other tools bouncing around, including a sifting pan, as though she were going to be panning for gold or something. As she excitedly starts off, Lambert reaches up and grabs her shoulder, roughly. You would not go alone. You will have someone with you. You understand? She looks back at you, all, and says, "That's why I hired that lot. We will set up camp here. You all will go with her. You have an agreement." Yeah?
Of course.
Seems fine to me.
I will send a man down to find you when it is time to camp.
We'll be
Understood?
back up in a few hours. I can only imagine we're not going to be here for too much longer before it's too dark.
Agreed.
Then it saves your man getting lost.
Do not let her eagerness run you into trouble. Yeah?
Of course.
He barks out commands to the men that are already in action, setting up camp. Several of them keeping watch while the rest of them move the wagons into position to secure them. Hannah bounds up what is about a 3-foot rise to what would have been once a formal gate. It is now nothing more than a standing partial archway. Hello?
We have to hear you.
We lost Eric. No, we lost
okay.
Eric.
Okay, I was like, who did we lose?
Discord
Okay.
starting probably.
This was once an antechamber, she says. This is where everyone would gather to see whoever the ruler or the rightful person was. And then she goes on to point and motion towards you. That would have been the great doors. There would have been guards on either side and it posted up. You'd go inside to see whoever the leader was of this place. Normally either a king, a queen, a duke, something like that. Now, if that's the case, and there would have been staircases, and she starts to point to either side, showing where the staircases might have been, and she says, and if those were the ones up, and these are the ones, and she starts rushing over excitedly, and you see her looking over, she's starting to move rocks, but they're like too big for her. Can I get a hand here?
I'd be happy to.
Did you just clap?
I just thought very hard about clapping.
I will help.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Now I feel like I should be helping. It's not a athletics check, but...
Well, you do get Hannah's help, and she's pretty stout. I just rolled a 19.
Oh. I don't.
It's that low center of gravity she's using.
18.
18. All right, the two of you start to clear some of the larger pieces of rubble away, and sure enough, underneath the collapsed staircase that would have once risen up, you can see the remains of a staircase that goes spiraling downward underneath the keep. It takes you about 20 minutes to clear enough of the rock away for you guys to kind of get down in there. She is excited. She immediately undoes her pack and she takes off a torch and strikes it and lights it using the flint and steel. And she holds the torch up and she says, "Well, is this what I paid you for? We're going in then."
Yeah.
And without even waiting for an answer, she starts descending the staircase.
Hannah, how about you let Doraka go first?
I don't think Doraka can see in the dark.
She hands.
I was muted.
She hands you the torch.
Okay.
All right. What is our marching order? Hannah is not going to go last. She is going second. She is pretty much like walking on Tonga's leg. She's got a hold of Tonga's leg. She's like moving down.
It's a staircase, but is it a big staircase?
It's pretty wide.
Okay.
Like it's pretty wide, like almost 10 feet across, and then it's like those big winding staircases that go down.
Okay, I'll go next after Hannah.
All right. And this one is built in a cylinder, so it is not freestanding. So there is wall. As a matter of fact, as you're starting to descend, you can see where part of time and just weathering, the wall that has been used as a bracing against the dirt has like partially fallen and the dirt has slid down a little bit. It's easy enough for you to get through, but it does cause like narrow spots where it narrows it down to only a few feet, where most of you have to kind of turn sideways and sidle through.
Okay. Okay.
Eventually, though, after descending the staircase for some time, it does open up into a wide hallway, reinforced by beams at regular intervals, and with staunching beams coming across to hold up the ceiling. You can see that it has several doors. Most of them are still closed, but there are a few that are open. They're not cell doors. They're not bars. They're like regular doors. And at the far end of the hallway, which runs probably about 20 feet, you can see that it tees off, and you can either go left or right from here. There are a total of 4 doors in here. One of them is open. The other 3 are closed. There would be effectively 2 to your left and 2 to your right.
Well, if my chicken chasing day said anything, we're gonna go left.
Okay. The first door on your left. What's that?
Eric said Satael would keep near Hannah. His Discord exploded.
Oh, no. Okay, so Satael's keeping near Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Starry will go last. Got it. Okay.
Zora will go somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello?
Are you back?
Are you pushing?
Possibly still muted.
I forgot my headset has an auto mute. Put the mic up.
Oh.
If for some reason Discord decided to go, hey, I don't feel like working anymore. And I just had to like full reboot it 3 times to get to try to do something.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to like do a full reboot of my computer when we're done, because everything's kind of like freaking out a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right. You come to the first door on your left. You can see that it is fully closed. There is no way to see into the room. It is a heavy wooden door, and you can see iron bracings creating the hinge points on this door. The handle itself is a complicated latch and lock piece mechanism.
If it had expired, Zora would recast Detect Magic.
All right.
She's just going to keep it up the whole time we're in the dungeon, unless there's a reason she can't. Well, in the keep.
You're using.
It's an at-will benefit.
Yeah, your eyes of whatever they are. I forgot the name of them. Excellent. Yeah, you can keep him up. It works through what? Less than 3 feet or less than a foot, something like that.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the detect magic spell because it'll tell you more.
Yep. 30 feet.
That you can
blocked
see
by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wooden dirt.
Okay. Through this door, you can kind of make out something, but you're not really sure. It's obscured mostly by the door. So, complicated locking mechanism or lock and latch mechanism. Iron hinges that are bounded to the boards that allow it to be pulled outward, not inward, but outward.
Okay, so we're in the keep now.
You are underneath the keep itself.
Okay, because let's see, I missed everything from the point of where the guy was telling Hannah off for trying to leave without us up till now.
Basically, she was telling you about the antechamber and how there would be staircases up and down, and then she moved over to one and started removing rocks with the help of Tonga, and then you guys went down a spiraling staircase out of a cylinder down to this floor. It's about 20 feet to the end of it. There are 4 doors. One of them is open. The other 3 are closed. All right. So that's what's on the first door.
Zoral, so there's something magic-y behind it. I'm not sure what, but something magic-y, yeah.
It's okay.
We just need a cat counter for Monday like we have for Tuesdays.
Go for it. Okay. So, something is behind the door, but it's obscured. Can't really see what it is.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna fucking open it.
All right. So you reach up and open the door?
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Fuck, I should have checked for traps.
We have a rogue for that.
Possibly. I like how you just said that. We have a rogue for that.
Dexterity save?
Dexterity saving throw, yes.
Yeah. An 8?
Ooh. I'm sure it's fine.
Things you don't want to hear your DM saying.
What? I'm sure it's fine. Give me 1 second here. All right, give me another save. This time it's a Constitution save.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Wait, or do you have resistance to any poisons or anything?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
I should have checked the door.
14?
14.
All right. As you grab the door and try the latch, there is a sharp piercing in the palm of your hand. You pull away to look and see a small dart. As you pull the dart, you can see that it is it still has like a little tint of green to it. Given the time that it's been here, it is not going to be as severe as, say, like a fresh poison. You take 8 points of poison damage.
Okay.
And you will be poisoned for about 45 minutes.
Owie, okay.
All right. However, the door is now, as far as you know, no longer trapped. There's 2 ways to find a trap, folks.
Yeah.
2 ways.
That was one of the ways.
Yeah, detect it before it goes off, or just set it off, and yep, that was a trap there. All right, so the door is still locked. Whenever you found it, it was locked.
Is the little magic feeling still there, or was that involved with the dart?
No, it's still there.
Okay.
I could break it. It's an old door, right? Is it like wood?
It is wooden. It's heavy wooden.
Satiel actually raises his hand. You might want to let. Thank you, Mello. You might want to let Zestari try that. Ezra, please stop shaking the world. This keep is unstable enough as it is.
I'm so sorry.
What did you do?
I kicked the stand my webcam was on because I just forgot how close it was to my desk.
No, I just had a picture of Ezra grabbing Satiel and going,
Let me break it! No.
I just really want to break something. And you might
let
be my
the world stop spinning. I want to get off.
The ride never stops. Yep, she can break it. It's fine.
Oh, I don't intend to break it. I have a little bit
just
more
break a
finesse
lock,
than that.
It's fine.
Is any of this historically significant? Should we break anything here?
I mean,
Looking over at Hannah.
If there's magic on the other side of the door, maybe not breaking the door down. Just like maybe not touching a door before finding out if it's trapped.
Oh, that would cause for precaution in all the wrong places.
Mostly the groin. I would prefer that you not break anything in the keep. One, it does have some historical significance, and two, we are underneath it.
Fair point.
Just keep that in mind.
Keep. I get it.
Oh my
Wait.
god.
No fireball.
Right. No fireball.
I don't
she
even
looks
know
at Satael pointedly.
He just scratches his nose.
All right. You're going to give me a lock, dexterity plus proficiency.
I have these tools, so...
Mm-hmm. Dexterity plus proficiency.
Yeah.
Unless you have expertise in them.
I do not. I took expertise in persuasion and deception.
I'm going to pat Testari on the back and give her guidance.
That's a D4 added to that roll.
Yep.
Because I'm not sure that I like the face you were just making.
I'm gonna get sick in the corner while this happens.
Oh.
So...
Where's Archibald in all of this?
That is...
I have the torch and I have the chicken.
That is
We
12.
should have left the chicken upstairs.
12?
12 total.
Okay.
Basically a cave chicken now.
You're pretty adept at this. You understand how locks work, and as you start to work the tools, you start to twist, and you realize that if you twist it any further, you're going to snap the tool off. So you stop and extract the tools before you break them. Looking at the lock, it might be a little more advanced than what your skills are currently.
Maybe,
or
but she'd like to try again.
Older.
And it's just...
It's a little older.
Yeah, and she's going to take it from like just a slightly different angle going in.
Sure.
She's going to try again.
Go ahead and give me that roll again.
It's 10 plus 3 for 13.
Are you adding your proficiency and your dexterity?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't have bless this time, so it's only 13.
You mean guidance?
Your guidance. So it's only 13.
You have guidance.
Okay.
I know that Satael would give you guidance again. Wouldn't he?
Was she tell him? Was she tell him that she's trying again?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
pretty
you watch
obvious
her do it.
she's
She
trying
pulls it out. And
Okay, yeah. He'll just pat her on the head and give it to her.
Out of context, she pulled it out, and you watched her try to go push it back in again.
okay.
Multiple entendre.
So it's 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 5 is 17.
Okay, this time, with the help of Satael, you are able to undo the lock. It pings heavily as you hear the tumblers lock into place. And then you hear the slide bolt, and it and you are free to open the door.
Does it open out?
It does. It pulls outward.
Cool. You're all gonna want to get on the side with the hinges.
Hannah looks at you for a second, looks at the door, looks at you, and goes, "Right," and then she starts moving over behind you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could all be clear of it, and I can open it.
If it's poison related, I can just open it myself.
I don't know if it's poison related. It could be fire related. It could be force. We have no idea. I just don't want anybody in front of the door when I open the damn thing.
Just summons Mage Hand.
Someone could throw saws at us.
Why would... That doesn't sound effective.
Sounds painful.
Well, I mean, she has a point with the hand. If we all get behind there, Zora using Mage Hand, that's a fun cantrip. She can use the hand to grab the door and open the door for us at a distance, so none of us are in danger.
Well, we'll save the danger for later if we really want it.
Healthy dose of danger later on.
Sure.
Just right before we leave.
Either way, get away from the door. On the opposite side of the hinges.
So you all back down the hallway from where you came from.
Yeah.
Safely at a distance, and Zora, you command the hand to go over and open the door. The hand closes around the hinge or closes around the handle and opens the door. As it does, it slowly swings out. There's a loud ratcheting metal on metal scrape as age finally starts to move the door. Other than that, though, nothing seems to happen.
Can I go over and peek in?
You may.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna have my shield.
All right.
Zora's following to see what's all shiny on the other side of the door.
So you have chicken, torch, chicken, shield.
Yeah.
Maybe give the chicken
to
somebody
the
else.
shield is like around my arm, and the chicken is in the same arm, so he's always protected. And I have the torch.
By the shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Just perched on the shield.
He has 1 hit point. I'm not letting my baby get into danger.
Maybe leaving the rooster with Mellow.
Can
or
I kill him with 7 with secret herbs and spices?
No.
I mean, that's Zora's plan.
Leave Archibald behind when you're going to check a door. Maybe.
What killed the chicken? Breading.
Trying.
I will pass my son to my co-parent.
Very good.
You now have a chicken. All right. As you go to peek around the door, inside of here is a large... No, I'll take that back. Inside of here is a bed. Larger than like a cot, but not like a big bed. There also is a chest, an armoire that's been opened, and you can see that there would have been clothes in there, but time and whatever little insects can scurry in and other pests have eaten away what's left in there. So there's a chest, an armoire, a desk with what appears to be a very simple mirror, and like what would have been an inkwell, but it's dried up completely. There are still some charcoal bits there to write with, but the paper is all rotted away. It's dry and crumbles, things like that. Lying on the bed in repose is a skeleton.
Oh.
Dressed in faded, rotted, old leather and chain. What would have been chainmail, but again, has rotted away with time. On their chest lays a sword, and you can see, like they were holding it and laid out in repose this way. Once again, though, the sword has been rotted away with time, rusting, covering it. I mean, it could probably be polished up and used again, but it would take more effort than it's worth, probably.
You said there was a chest?
There's a chest, an armoire, a desk, and a body on a bed.
Where's the glow coming from?
Excuse me. It's coming from the armoire.
Oh, good. I was about to stab that.
Look, I mimic an armoire twice, and you go all panicky on me.
Can I check the chest though?
Maybe.
See, that's where the mimic really is. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You may check the chest. Yes. There is no mimic in this room.
Cool.
See, now that just makes me think there is a mimic.
I was about to say, maybe having someone else check stuff around.
There's no mimic in the room.
The man who's already poisoned. And hurt.
It can't get any worse.
Oh,
I'm already
You say that now.
Double poison.
But you see, I have defenses against poison.
It doesn't double it, it just extends the time.
Yeah, and
I get double disadvantage.
Roll 3 die, take the lowest of all 3.
Oh.
That's a little shout out to Chris Perkins there. All right, so tell me what you guys are doing. Let's start here. Zastari, what are you doing?
She's just gonna stand next to the door and watch.
Okay, Zora?
If the armoire is the thing that's glowing, she's going to look and see if she can tell if it's trapped.
All right.
Or was it open?
All right. The doors to it were open, but you can see a drawer underneath, and where it's open, there appears to be like a bottom where you can put shoes in, or like a stand where you can put shoes on.
She's going to kind of look in there and see if she can find the source of ye olde glow.
All right. I'll come right back to you in a moment. All right. Setael?
He's going to go over to the desk, see if there's anything on the desk that might grab his attention.
I'll come back to you in a moment. Ezra?
I'd really like to make sure that Tangaro doesn't get himself more hurt.
It's a lifelong goal. You know that's not going to ever stop.
A goal I don't mind having.
Okay. So that means you're taking the chest, or are you just going to grab Tonga in case he does something foolish?
I don't think I can hold him back if that's the thing. Maybe as he's reaching for the chest, gonna just push his hand in another direction and open it for him, but let him look inside. Maybe
Okay.
Slap him on the wrist.
I'll open the toy box. You get what you want out.
Yeah.
Okay. Mello, what are you doing, buddy?
I was fairly serious about stabbing that thing. I'm going to be taking my rapier and my scimitar and sort of chopsticking my way over, trying to open the drawer a little bit more with it. All right, come on.
So I was like, what the hell?
I'm watching the skeleton, by the way. Just, that's what she's watching.
Okay, Tonga, you're opening the chest, right? Or are you going to try to open the chest?
I think Ezra's technically opening the chest.
Okay.
But I'm looking in.
The chest opens with no trouble. Well, a little trouble as the hinges are kind of stuck on it. No trap goes off or anything else like that. Inside are the remnants of what appears to be old clothing. Most of it has been eaten away or rotted. Inside there, though, you find what was once a felted bag. You can see the felting has been deteriorated to the point where the bag is still whole, but the felting is kind of patchy. It has some heft to it, and you can hear the metal clink inside of it. Not a bunch, like 2 metal clinks. Clink, 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 like 2 things.
I will check the bag then.
Okay. As you open it up, you can see there are 2 golden discs inside of it, each one about that big around.
Okay.
In the center of them is a perfect hole in the center of each one of them. Like I said, they seem to have some weight to them.
Oh, I'll hold on to them. What kind of holes are in there?
Actually, as you're looking at those, Hannah kind of looks over at you and she's like, "What is that you have there?"
A shirt.
Tonga, she means the pouch.
Oh, yeah. This is I don't know what they are. They're gold. I think. They're heavy.
If I promise to give it back to you, may I look at it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really need them.
Doesn't she get first pick of everything anyway? Technically?
Technically.
So.
Yeah. Take them.
All right. She holds her hand out, and as you slide one of the discs in there, her hand dips a little bit from it. She starts to carefully overlook everything. There are images actually on the discs. They're not plain. You can see that they're delicately done, either stamped from a really intricately drawn picture, or they're etched themselves. But in it, you see what appears to be like a crude drawing, well, crude by like standards of the current times, but it's clearly what appears to be a man doing business with a creature that is standing upright, but has bird-like features. They are exchanging appears to be like goods. She carefully looks at the bottom part of it and flips it over and carefully looks at the inscriptions on the back of it. She says, "Well, I can't read it, but if this is what I think it is, this was a trademark. Not a trademark as in like to own something, but a trading mark. This would have a value, and you would slide it onto a weighted pedestal, and then you would put the value of the goods or the goods that you wanted to purchase on the other side, and it would measure out. If you were more goods, you put more of these on there, and you measured it out that way. It's sort of a bartering system for precious metals. So instead of saying, I'm counting out X amount of gold, they would weigh it, and that's what you would trade for.
Mm-hmm.
These are historically significant. I tell you what, I'll keep one, and you can have the other.
Okay.
She points to the bottom of it, and she says, this says here that it's an increment of measurement of 25. So this would be worth nowadays probably about 20 to 25 gold if you were to melt it down and use it that way.
I think it's just a cool little trinket to have.
Certainly. She turns back towards the skeleton, and you can see that she's carefully inspecting any piece of the leather and the cloth that she can kind of put together. And she's trying to inspect and see what, symbol there on there. Okay, so that's what you find in the chest. Zora, you watch. What's that?
Does my shirt fit?
It's like not even a shirt. It's like rags and pieces of cloth. So yeah, bruh. It's a schmedium. It fits you. Zora, you hear the sound of clipping metal on metal and watch as Mello fumbles about with his weapons trying to open the drawer.
No,
these are finesse weapons, darling. Don't worry.
No. Just. She's like gently grabs the door and moves it.
Okay.
Or the drawer like pulls it out.
As you open the drawer, you can see that there's nothing in it.
But the magic ping still.
It is. It seems to be. It has not moved position, even though you've slid the drawer.
She's going to look for like a false bottom or something.
All right. You don't find a false bottom in here, but as you kind of realize, you can take the drawer out itself.
Ah.
Okay.
Takes the drawer out.
As you remove the drawer, inside you can see, although it is not deteriorated by time, it is still covered in dust and dirt, but there appears to be a piece of folded like material or cloth in there.
Okay. Going to gently remove folded cloth.
Gently removing the folded cloth, you watch as it pools in your hands and seems to spill out as though it's made from some sort of a hard liquid. It's very, very fine. It moves through your fingers. It has sort of a mottled green color, and it's elegantly tailored. You can see that the etching in it, or the hemlines in there, seem to have been made out of gold thread. But it blends well with the green in there, giving the whole thing this illusion of this like dark mottled forest floor.
She's going to refrain the urge of like being like, no, mine, and look over at Hannah and Satael and be like, you guys know how to tell what stuff is. This is some kind of magic. I don't know what.
Hannah
it's
looks at Satael.
He'll let's bring it over here. I can look at it on the desk.
He walks over, hands it to him.
Okay, he will stop his inspection at the desk and he will take 10 minutes while everyone else is rummaging and doing their thing to ritual cast Identify on the robe.
All right.
On this piece of fabric.
That piece of fabric is a cloak. You can see that it has a hood that draws up, obscuring the person who's wearing it, obscuring their hood or their face completely in it, creating a deep shadow. It's beautifully well tailored, and as you watch, you can see that it appears to be more designed, almost of an elven sort. And it is, in fact, a cloak of the elven kind.
Okay. He will take a look at it. And, okay. It's definitely of elven design. Very old. Magic hasn't worn down any. Hood still seems to be intact. Yeah, this item will work very well for anybody who wears it that would like to remain obscured. It helps with obscuring the wearer, is its properties, essentially. And he'll fold the robe up very carefully, hand it back to Zora, and then go back to expecting the desk.
That cloak gives you advantage on stealth checks for those who are attuned to it, and perception checks to see you have disadvantage.
Good to know. She's gonna just kind of carry it around like a child for now.
Cradled in your arms. Checking the desk. Go ahead and give me an investigation check, please.
Okay. Right. It's 14 plus 8. 22.
Okay. As you open it carefully, you can see that there is several pages here that are brittle, and they turn to ash and dust in your hand. However, you do come across
I would like to say, before he tries to pick it up, if there's anything written on here, is it a language that he doesn't know?
It is.
It is a language he does not know.
That is correct. It is not written in common, or at least the common that you're aware of.
Okay. He will take 6 seconds to just force cast comprehend languages.
Okay.
And because for written languages he has to physically touch the object, and he won't try to pick it up. He will instead just very carefully put a finger on the page.
Okay.
So the magic will take effect so he can read the page.
Okay. It's you're talking about pages that have been not cared for you're not sure how long.
Yeah.
The oils on your finger alone, just the lightest pressure is going to cause them to kind of deteriorate before you can really get anything. What little bit of significance that you are able to gather, it appears to be the journal of the, as he calls himself in there, the court sage.
Okay.
The other item that you can find in one of the drawers is not crumbling to pieces in your hands.
Alrighty.
It is well tended in a leather pouch that has been treated on the inside to keep it at a nice humidity level.
Okay.
And as you look, you can see that it has a simple lock on it that can be easily overcome by the help of Zastari.
Okay.
But it says it is the grimoire of Lazar. Not laser, Lazar. Layzar. Lazar.
Laizr.
Lay.
Layzr. Okay.
Zar.
Lazir. Alrighty.
Lazar. You get the idea that this is a spell book of some kind.
That immediately captures his attention.
Is
there anything else in here other than those items?
Nope, just mostly that stuff.
Okay, he's picking this up very carefully just in case. It's treated well, not crumbling.
It is not crumbling.
Okay. In the span of maybe a second, he's in front of Zastari.
He like turns around and shoves a book in your chest.
Would you mind checking this for like traps and unlocking it, please?
Well,
he looks very excited.
Something this small typically would have a magical trap of some kind, so that's more your department, my dear.
Zora! He holds up the book in her line of sight.
Huh?
What? No, it's a book. Oh, what do you need?
Use your eyes, please.
My eye sees.
It's
not.
Okay.
It's not glowy.
Okay. Unlock it, please.
Okay. She's gonna gingerly take it from him and then sit down so that she can work without having to, so that she can have both of her hands free.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was it glowy?
Guidance.
It was not.
Okay.
No, there was only one glowy thing in the room, and you had it, but she doesn't know that because Zastari doesn't have detect magic. So
I don't know if maybe the desk had obscured it before it came out, or.
That's an 11 plus 8 for 19.
With
You
guidance.
I
Easily.
don't think I need guidance for a 19.
He did it anyway.
You are easily able to handle this small lock. This would be like a journal from Claire's kind of lock.
Okay.
You take a butter knife and that would pop it open.
It's a small book. Sawteel's excited. He wants it to work.
That was a 22 total, by the way, with guidance.
So you definitely pop it to where you can reuse it again. Opening it up, are you going to pour through it right now? Or at least try to look through it?
He's going to look through it and see what it is first.
All right. It is a mix of things. It is research. It is some actual spells. It is a lot of different things. Mostly, though, it is like a protected journal and research book with some actual spells. And as you're reading through it, I need you to give me a sanity check.
Oh, boy. Uh, 12.
Okay. You start to read through the book, and some of the research is so outlandish that it reaches back to a time before your brain can even comprehend. And that instance of where the world of your own research and the world of magic kind of overlap is you remember the time before magic was a thing in this world, as well as trying to reconcile the fact that magic is a real thing. You all watch as he sits there, his eyes close, or actually he stares blankly at the wall in a catatonic state for the next 3 minutes. Your brain overcome, and I need you to reduce your overall score by 1 point.
For the sanity?
Yes.
Ooh, that was a bad one. Okay.
Yes. This is akin to the stories that Lovecraft wrote, where someone reads the book and their mind kind of goes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I now only have a +3 to my rolls.
the book hits the ground heavily, and you all look over to see Satiel standing there or sitting there, just kind of.
I was going to say, I'm assuming he's still in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll catch the book before it hits the ground.
Okay.
And then just kind of snap her fingers in front of him, and just, we're doing that again.
Dude,
okay.
You're one to talk.
What again?
Oh, this is not the first time.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Should we be concerned?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
When
we'll
was
be
the
fine.
first time?
Well, you were all off in Jopus Landing. We were waiting for
What
you at the
was it about?
monastery. Hell if I know, I just know that it happened.
At
Makes
least
sense.
he
Talk
is
to
not.
Sate
kind of
later.
experienced something yourself like this too, didn't you?
I have.
Would this be like when Ezra calmed down Tonga a little bit as well?
Kind of.
Well, if we're going to move on, I guess I'll just carry Satael. If that happens, Or are we waiting for him to sort of
Give him a
snap out of
couple
it?
minutes. If he's not out of it in a couple minutes, then we'll carry him.
I'll sing to him. It'll be fine.
Oh God, please don't do that.
Oh, that might actually. Yes, I could understand if that brings somebody back.
While they're doing that,
familiar sounds.
Zora's gonna cast Fey Presence to see if like casting a charm brings him out of it.
Okay. It does not.
Quietly panicking over in the corner. Just shows on the eyes. Just like, okay.
I'd say a small slap sometimes wakes people out of their stupor, but I don't think I should do it.
I really
slaps the spit out of him.
Just leaving it.
She just goes flying.
Have you seen the GIF of
hasn't
the
started
slap
bleeding
contest?
from the nose. He'll be fine.
That's what?
And then she's just gonna very quietly and gently back him up so he's leaning against the wall, and then she'll stand next to him while they're continuing to go through the room.
Is this like laying on the floor beside somebody who got knocked out just to make it look like they were chilling?
No, she's doing it so that when he comes to, he doesn't just fall on his face.
It's weekend at Bernie's.
Taking the bucket and putting it over somebody else's head, then putting one over your head. And then as they take it off, you take yours off, you're like, huh?
What the hell?
I just imagined you, though, with the slapping contest where you hit that dude and just knocked his consciousness out of his body. That's I just saw you doing that to Satael. Just bam, out of his shoes. Just over on the side out of his shoes.
He'll only use 1% of his power. Sorry.
All right.
Well, I mean, my sanity bonus did get permanently reduced from a +4 to a +3 because of that, so...
See if his slap will bring him back. It's fine.
I will warn you all. There is not really a way to gain that back.
Yay! I don't have much to lose to begin with.
Am I the only one with a +4 now?
I think you might be, yeah.
Oh.
I'm not sure what I have. I have it written down somewhere. +3.
Don't worry, you're just as sane as the rest of us.
Did you guys find anything else in this room?
Shirt.
Got a shirt.
Holds it up looking like a chopped up crop top. It's like
great.
the old
pull it off with those abs.
Those are
the
rags.
old cartoons where it's like the dudes that were shipwrecked and it's just a white shirt with like the tatters. And it's like a crop top, but it's just like all jagged points. Yep.
But like I've got like the swimmer's shoulders and chest, so it's like really struggling to like not
Those
one
are
flex
rags.
of your fin and the whole shirt's coming right off.
Oh yeah, I have a fin on my back.
It's pointless.
It's like it's
Definitely
pressed up
rags.
against him so much it's just showing off the NHO. It's just nipple hard on for days.
I think it looks pretty good.
It doesn't even like fit over his chest. It just stops. Right
it just stops right above his chest.
It's more of like a cowl.
Can't even get his arms in the sleeve, just over his head.
It's just wearing it over his head.
Like a necklace, a scarf.
It's an infinity scarf.
It's cute. Could tie it in a little bow behind his back.
What did you say, Molly? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said this is the most I've ever worn on my torso ever.
That's a lie. You wore armor. All right.
Yeah, well, clothing wise.
Other than this room, other than the things you found in here, there's nothing much. Hannah seems a bit disappointed. She said that the skeleton was inclusive about the history of anything. There were no mark, like no
insignias,
symbols.
Yes, arms. What is the thing?
Coat of arms.
Thank you. There were no
go.
coat of arms or insignias on it.
I thought you were just gonna say the skeleton had no arms. I was like,
no arms. It's just torso. Didn't even have legs.
Didn't have legs.
Same as torso boy.
It's really hard for him to cast spells.
Legless, armless, faceless thing rolling down the street.
3 ribs.
Like a turd in the wind.
Yes.
So Satiel comes to eventually.
Yes, eventually you come to.
Zora's gonna put the cloak in like a side bag.
Ow!
Mm-hmm. So maybe we take it easy on reading things that we find in a random castle?
Probably a good idea.
Puts it in the bag of holding.
You feeling okay?
No.
You feeling good enough to go on?
Yeah, it's just I'm trying to reconcile what happened before to now.
Stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
1, 2, have a drink of water. You have your water skin with you. And 3, we need to keep moving.
Yeah. Eventually, I want to figure out what spells Lazir put in here, but...
Yeah, take your time at it. Don't overload yourself.
That's going to be hard, I think.
Yeah, it'll be about as hard as you trying to prevent Tangaroa from hurting himself, but we'll see which one of us is more successful.
I mean, he's got a hunger for knowledge, just because this one's got a hunger for a little bit of stupidity.
We're just like walking to the other door.
I mean, Satiel just shrugs like, I mean, as Ezra's right. Yeah, when it comes to learning new things, I'm just...
You're stupid smart.
All right. Moving on to the next door. This one is the open one. On the same side, left-hand side, it's an open door. Inside it, you can see overturned furniture and what would have once probably been reddish brown, but have now been faded to brown stains that are here and there. I say rust-colored stains here and there. There appears to have been some sort of a fight or a struggle in here. And yep.
Anything glowy?
Nothing glowy in here.
I'll look over at Satiel and I'll reach into my bag and I'll pull out like some little leaves that are, they're a little crumbly, but they're still kind of fresh. I hand them to him and I'm just like, chew on these. You'll feel better.
What are they?
They're very mild narcotics. Very mild.
Don't do drugs, kids.
He pauses.
The effect of coca leaves. They're very common in South America.
He pauses, and he looks up at Tonga and is like, I very much appreciate the gesture, but I don't think it would be a good idea to have a mentally altering substance inside the mind of your spellcaster.
It'll just make you feel a little tingly. You'll feel a little better.
Isn't that the definition?
No.
She's looking at Satiel like...
Satiel's just like, yes. But, I was like, I'll tell you what, I will see if this persists when we make camp. I might give one a try then, okay?
Okay.
I do appreciate the gesture.
They're very mild. Good
he'll put it in one of his belt pouches on his...
You just imagine you with like a bandolier of pouches, just left and right.
You're not wrong. Because there are various reagents and stuff that he has that he can't cover with his focus.
All right. So other than that, this room seems to be empty. Hannah is still, though, pouring through there. Would anybody else like to look further into this room, or is it there's nothing glowy? Let's move along.
Is Astari's going to move on to the next door to start unlocking it before Tangaroa gets his hands on it?
If she sees Astari going to the other door, she'll look at the other door just to make sure it's not glowy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say Satiel will take a moment to maybe investigate the room, see if there might be anything interesting.
Okay. Give me a perception check, please.
Perception or investigation?
I'm sorry, investigation. You were correct. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry. 17?
20 for Zora.
20 for Zora. All right. Zora, you turn over the furniture and kind of straighten things up, and you can see that there is, or was rather, a figure wearing what is now tattered like gown, like a sleeping gown. Their hand is wrapped around a dagger, which has that same rust color on there. But they have clearly been attacked by something with a much larger bladed edge. And you can still see grooves in the bone where the blade was passed through. and you gather that it was not one, as there are multiple wounds into the rib cage, into the back, and things like that.
That looked painful.
Indeed, it does look painful. All right, you. That other than that, that's the only thing you find. You do notice that the dagger is, like I said, it does have that rust colored on there, but it's also an old dagger, so it is not magical of any sort.
Probably dried blood.
Most
Maybe.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right. The other door. What did you roll for your check on that one?
Oh, I hadn't. I was.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, Zora had also said that she would look at the door to make sure that it wasn't glowing before I did anything, so.
It is not glowing.
Alright.
She kind of gives a thumbs up, like.
You still gonna give me an investigation or perception check?
Yeah, that's a 14 on the die, with 4 for perception for 18.
Okay, this one is trapped and locked as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna just disarm that trap.
Okay, go ahead and give me, again, dexterity.
Although, she's real tempted to leave it and then ask Tangaroa to come over and open the door. That is 18 total for disarm.
You are able to disarm the trap this time. It was almost the same sort of thing. There was a small needle that you dislodged and removed. The poison has lost some of the potency, but it is still enough to cause a nasty sting. Now unlocking the door. This has the same mechanism as the one that you saw before.
Okay.
Boop.
That is a 17 on the die plus 8 for 25.
You are easily able to unlock this one. As you do so, you can see what appears to be. This door is a lot heavier. It also opens outward by pulling it open. Pulling it open reveals the remnants of an armory. You can see several cases holding spears, bundles of things. Most of them have not survived the ravages of time, and most of them are nothing more than kindling or rust covered that are shaped like spearheads and things like that. There is, however, in the back a heavy glass case that you can see.
Well, we're just gonna beeline right for the glass case.
Is the glass case glowy?
The glass case isn't, but the object inside is. Oh, actually, I take that back. Nope. The glass case is glowy as well.
Hey, there's something up with the case too.
Okay, well, hold on a second then. He'll step up by Zestari, and he will take 10 minutes to use Detect Magic himself to see what kind of magic this might be.
Oh, let's see. What's the protection one? Abjuration?
Abjuration.
Yeah, mixed with evocation.
Ooh, okay. He'll pause and okay, well, this is definitely warded for protection. There's also an evocation component there. So it is more than likely a magical trap is on this.
Just out of curiosity, since you're the one who knows more about this than I do, how much of that is the box and how much of that is the item inside the box?
Well, which
that was the box.
Okay, yeah, he'll say that whole thing was the box. So
cool.
It's more than likely that trying to open this without disarming that trap will cause some form of evocation style assault.
Sure. What does evocation do?
You remember what I said before in the fight pit about giant explosions that could take down platoons or lightning bolts that can punch through your body?
Okay.
Yeah, that.
I bet you if we ask the paladin to open, he'll do it.
No. He gives her a stern look.
Now I'm wondering how much of that assholeness is you or the character.
It's like, no, we're not going to needlessly risk other people's lives, Astari.
No, not everybody's. Just his.
No one.
While they're talking, Zora's gonna try something and probably won't work, but she's gonna try and cast Counterspell. It probably won't work, but she's gonna try it.
Wait,
no,
what was it that you just...
It's a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, she figured she'd try.
Zastari's gonna look at Zora and like, what did you just do?
I mean, I can sometimes stop spells.
Can you do it again?
I think it didn't work on this.
Yeah, that's
it was already cast on him.
Off.
It might not work. It might have to be someone actually casting it, not like activating a trap.
Let's say, me being a trained wizard, would I know that? Okay, yes. Satya will go. She has to interrupt the actual evocative process of the spell being casted itself. Oh. This spell has already been placed, even if it is in a physical component that could potentially be disarmed. However, she would not be able to disrupt the weaving patterns of the spell that's already in place, unless you know the Dispel Magic spell.
No.
Clearly not. Hannah!
She pops in. That poor lass stuck there. She was stabbed at least 7 times.
Do you know Dispel Magic?
Straight to the point.
Yeah, wait, why?
I'm not a wizard.
No, you're not, but I know there are some domains that have that kind of ability.
You're right. There are some. All right, give me a moment. I'll see what I can do.
I could activate the trap with the Mage Hand again, and it might not destroy the thing inside.
There's no guarantee it wouldn't bring the entire place down upon our heads, so...
That's true, too,
And evocation, we are underneath the keep, and evocation is highly destructive. That's all it's designed for, is to destroy.
Uneasy looking at ceiling.
Is this something we could carry and bring outside without setting the trap off? Since we're not trying to get inside of it?
I mean, you can certainly try.
Is the case secured to the floor?
It is bolted down.
It's a gun safe.
I'm just here to...
Kinda.
The Ackerman Moors is actually set in Tennessee.
True, probably, honestly.
We open it up, we find bad news.
Not flat enough. It'd have to be West Tennessee. It'd have to be like Memphis because it's flatter. All right. So you're looking down. You can see that it is bolted to the ground, and at intervals you can see, like where each one of the cases is. You realize that they are not like wooden cases; that they're actually made out of metal, and they're bolted. And then they have a depression for holding all the weapons in there. And it's like floor to ceiling, and you can see bolts, and you can see hooks where maybe at intervals where you could have hung like a shield or hung something else up higher as well.
While she's prepping to do Dispel Magic, Zastari's actually going to ask for the journal.
The grimoire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What?
The grimoire.
His attention was focused. Why do you want it?
Hand it to me, please.
Okay. Hand it to her.
She's not reading each page. She is skimming, looking for a key phrase that would disable the spell. Because the understanding is that this is a journal, so if this was done by the person in that room, then it would be something that he would have tracked. Possibly. So, I mean, it's an idea, and so that's what she's doing. She's not reading it because she saw what it did to him, and she's skimming to find the phrase of like she's skimming for like armory or the keywords.
Pineapples.
she's looking for the keywords that'll jump out at her.
All right. In that case, give me an investigation check. Actually, no, I'll make a perception.
Okay.
I'll make a perception because you're not actively reading the book. You're just kind of skimming it.
Well, yeah, and then I'm actually going to activate. Well, no, I already have it, but it doesn't give me an advantage. I was gonna say Eye for Detail because I get to make a bonus action to spot a hidden creature or object, or make an investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. But I'm already doing that, so. That is a 9 plus 8 for 17. No.
Okay.
Yes. No.
Okay.
9 plus 4 for 13. There we go. Got it. Sorry.
Okay.
13.
Math.
You do not find a secret phrase, but you do find what appears to be an interesting contraption that something about it strikes your like. You know how you see like identify what this is, and it's like a picture that's either zoomed way in or zoomed way out, or a piece of something. Something about the image that you see in the room that you're standing in, there's a connection to them. And so you stop on that page and you look at it. And it says something. You can't really read it. Somebody else could.
What's it written in?
A very old dialect.
She's just gonna turn the book to Satil. What is this written in?
That just make him weird out. Why are we doing? No.
He looks at it.
Okay.
No. Like she just wants to identify the language. She's like, that's just don't read it. Just identify the language.
I mean,
it's not quite how comprehend languages work.
No, but she doesn't want him to flip through the book. She just wants him to tell her what the language is.
Yeah, he'll go over to the book and he'll poke it.
Okay. You
because
get the idea
comprehend
that
languages last for an hour.
Yes. Unless your mind goes elsewhere.
So it lasts for an hour.
Unless your mind goes elsewhere.
Okay, he'll cast it again as an action.
So you cast the spell. Touching it to there, you don't know the name of the language other than like it would be like Old English versus like, Middle English versus or Common English now.
Yeah.
You or like an early Germanic almost. You do comprehend though that this is a description of an electrical trap that creates a net by causing arc points between an area. And you see that the drawing in there, intricately done, resembles some of the hooks and bolts that are in this room, along with the heavy metal chandelier in the middle, or metal candle holder in the middle of this room.
Okay. All right, he'll turn to Ezra and Tonga. It's like, okay, you two are the strongest of us. He'll turn and he'll point to the hooks. It's like, if you can you remove those?
I can certainly try.
You certainly can. Athletics check.
Probably, yeah.
And if possible, without breaking anything immensely, we also need to try to remove the chandelier that's in this room as well.
I can do that.
Athletics, you said?
Yep.
Not natural, but
A total of 20?
Yeah.
19.
Okay. 19. You look at the metal hooks and try to remove them. Even though you're pretty sure, Tunga, that you felt one of them bend, you realize that it is slightly bent, maybe. They are not coming off easily.
Okay, so he'll just like run over to Tonga and he'll take the shirt. And then he will start tearing it up into strips and start wrapping every single one of these metal hooks with the cloth.
Okay, there's
electricity and fire.
I mean, if you dampen them, then it'll look for another metal source, which will be a lot closer to the ground.
They are there's about 20-foot room every 2 feet. There's about 10 of them.
Okay.
around the room.
Okay, he'll try to get them all if he can.
Okay. Sure. I'm going to say you can do that.
All right. He'll make sure they're all covered as much as possible. And
Hannah looks at you and says, I tried.
okay. It's fine, thank you. He'll look up the chandelier. What is it, just like hanging there off of a hook? Or is it itself bolted in?
It seems to be bolted.
So it
you
is
can see
bolted
that
in.
it's even the wiring there. Even the pieces holding it aren't rope. They're actually like metal wire.
Okay.
You could pre-crash that if somebody has heat metal.
I do
maybe
not.
cut it.
Looks at Mello.
I mean,
Everybody looks at Mello.
Yeah.
I can heat it up. Let's see here. That was. Well, I'm putting the chicken down.
Chicken nuggies.
Should
For
get a
the
bag
best.
where the chicken sits, where its head sticks out, like a
Mm,
over-shoulder satchel. I mean, it wouldn't wander.
Yeah. Chicken nuggies, indeed.
How about chicken snuggies instead?
Oh, I like it.
Yes.
All right, so
Chicken fricassee. that laugh.
Sorry.
No, that's cool. I just thought it was great.
oh, good grief.
I guess I'm gonna try doing a point blank cast of Burning Hands.
Does he need a lift?
I
Is it
mean, it
touch?
gets 15 feet. He'll be able to get up
Okay.
there.
Yeah. So let's see. That's 3d6. Here goes quite possibly nothing.
Mm-hmm.
9.
9 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, you've done 9 points of damage.
To nothing.
Doesn't seem to have much of an effect.
Okay.
I can try and trip the trap while we're out of the room, since it just affects this room. It's
No,
maybe.
not necessarily.
So Satiel probably was like, well, according to the notes, what this does is when it's opened and not disarmed, it will generate an electrical field that acts as a net that will bounce off of each of those posts that I covered with the cloth and off of the chandelier up there to sort of create an all-encompassing electrical net to hit everybody inside.
Okay.
I can teleport out. I could open it quickly, and
We could just trigger it with Mage Hand.
there's that too.
Mm. Fortunately, it is not something fire-related, as far as these notes are saying.
Is it a stone floor?
It's fire, or the evocation spells of the fire element tend to be more destructive than any of the others.
Zasari is going to start taking some of those old spears and tying them together so that they are now, like, double-ended.
Okay.
Okay. She's going to find the middle of this room, and she is going to chip away enough that she can put them all point down, pointing out.
Uh-huh.
And basically, she'll use them as conductors into the center of the room to cause the lightning field to cancel itself out.
But let's say, noting that, Satiel will go, oh, wait, hold on. And then he'll use prestidigitation to make a little wood holder that she can just slide them into.
This is, you realize this is going to take time.
Yeah. We got time. What time
yeah.
schedule are we on besides we gotta go back up for dinner?
Exactly.
But say that's why I mentioned that that with the prestidigitation spell, I can actually make a holder to set the spears in.
Okay.
But yeah, she makes sure the metals are point up, and then she's gonna step out of the room. As soon as Mage Hand is near the box, because I'm assuming that she does. She'll talk to Zora and be like, exactly how does Mage Hand work?
It goes in there and it moves around. I don't know the technical.
It's a big hand.
Yeah.
So you have to maintain visual acuity with this hand to get it to do what you need it to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the hand doesn't have eyes, so I can't see through it or something.
Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting. And then she's going to close the door just so that there's just a crack that you can see through, and then she's going to ask Zora if she can see the box through the door.
How about I just stand 30 feet back in a straight line from it? Roundabout.
You cannot. There are more metal shelves because it's in the back, so it's a 20-foot room.
It's in a corner?
It's in a corner. It's a 20-foot room. It's in a corner. There are shelves between it and the door. So you enter the door on this side. It's on the opposite corner, and you can't see it. You have to be in the room to try to use Mage Hand.
Why don't you all just wait outside and I'll see what happens.
When did your ass become lightning proof?
Never.
No.
But I don't think there's any other way around this besides.
There's not messing with it is a way around it.
Don't we want what's in it, or why are we even doing this?
There's a good question. What is in this glass safe?
Yeah, it's glass. We can see inside.
You can see a pair of gauntlets that are laid there. The fingers curled in, one side beside the other one.
Okay, so something we might want.
Next to them appears to be a sheathed, short sword that's laying next to it.
Those look good enough to punch with.
My nerd brain immediately going to White Knight Chronicles.
Yes, your nerd brain.
Satiel will pause, and he'll
stop that.
He'll take a breath and he'll say, "Okay, I know a spell that can reduce the amount of damage that I take against the elements. I can't cast on it.
Work on you?
It only works on me."
What about shrinking it? If we shrink this, wouldn't the bolts underneath break? Is that just an idea?
It might set off the trap, too.
Oh. Okay, I'm all out of it.
I got this.
This is smart ones.
Oh,
sorry.
no.
I cast Unseen Servant.
Not anything that we knew he could do.
Nobody knows he's gone.
Yeah?
All of us are just like, where have you been?
Mello walks up and just, what is the name of the Unseen Servant?
He's always just been calling it "Hey You."
Oh. Mello is talking to nobody in particular and goes, "Hey you, go in there and open that thing."
Tangaroa immediately walks into the room.
No. It's already in the room.
Are you, Tangaroa, are you in the room?
He helped with the pulling of the
room.
I mean,
Hey,
technically everybody's in the room still, so tell me what you guys are doing.
All right, everybody out.
Okay.
So safe. Mello's talking to himself. That's it.
Yeah, let's all leave.
All right. Everybody leaves the room.
All right, you. When I close this door, you open up that thing. And then if you can, open the door. And I close the door.
The door opens and closes again. You're like, go in there and open the thing. It wasn't in there. All right. As you are waiting for a moment, there is the sound and the smell of ozone and the sound of crackling electricity that arcs away through things. You've seen people use like electric current to clean rust and things like that. So the smell of burning away and carbonizing and things like that. And it stops after a few seconds. The door doesn't open.
Has it gotten quieter?
Yes. The sound and the sound stops anyways. The smell doesn't necessarily.
Well. He keeps looking back and forth at everybody. I'm going to open it. I just quickly slam open the door.
You throw open the door. There are bits of dust and ash on the ground. You can see scorched marks in the backside of the door. Some of the metal appears to have like a fissure line in it. But other than that, it seems like everything's fine. And the glass case in the back of the room has been lifted up and opened.
Can I march on over?
Great addition to the team. Why didn't you say that like 20 minutes ago? Why didn't you suggest this like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, wanted to see what happened.
Okay.
As you go reaching for them, we are going to take a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks, as we get up and stretch my legs anyways. Maybe scrounge for something to nosh on. But we'll be back at the top of the hour, and we hope that you all are here as well. Do me a favor. Excuse me. We tweeted earlier that the game is going live. I'm going to post another tweet up here in a moment. Why don't we do a giveaway? I think it's perfect time to give away a game. What do you guys think? So retweet out there, giveaway game. You have to be in the chat, so make sure that you tell everybody, hey, we're going to give a game away. I will take care of that right now, and then we'll everybody retweet that. There we go. The tweet is up. I will pull a link in there for you guys. You can pass that around. Retweet the link for us. Share the love, and we will give away a game, and I will tell you what game it is here in just a few moments. In the meantime, though, we will all be back. Stick around. Thank you very much. See you in a moment.
I'm following your lead, I'm take it apart, throw it away, put it back together again.
He kind of lets you do anything to him. He just likes to be held.
Welcome back, everybody. And we have a puppy on the screen. First of all, let's get some things out of the way. Decca, I would never judge you for not sleeping. Thank you for hanging in there and hanging out with us. And we are also going to be giving away Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. I have a key for the Insane Trilogy. We'll be giving that away at the end of the show. So I put a tweet up. Go retweet it. Make sure you get a few people in here, and we'll do the giveaway at the end of the show. So you have another like 50 minutes or so to hang out with us, and then we'll do the giveaway. So hang in there. Decca, that goes for you too. So yeah, perfect time to go on cam holding the dog. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get right back into it. You opened the case, or had the unseen servant open the case, and then there was the smell of ozone and the crackle of electricity that filled the room, lasted for a few seconds, and then everything kind of quieted down. You open the door to find a pair of gauntlets that are laying there. Thumbs out, fingers still curled, and you also found a sheathed short sword.
Well, I'm going to go pick them up.
All right, which one are you picking up first?
Gauntlets.
Okay. You pick them up, and are you just putting them on?
Oh no, I'm staring at them a little bit.
They are gauntlets. They have finger holes and
like
holes for you to put your hands in.
You know, I think if I slapped you with one of these, we'd have to duel.
Jesus, don't slap anybody with those things.
If they weren't knocked out already, what are the gauntlets made of? What do they look like, I guess? Oh, I was like...
Gesundheit.
The dramatic pause. Bless you.
Sorry. That came into nowhere. They are made of metal. I know, that was obvious, right? They're made out of a shiny metal with gold filigree. The backs of the gauntlets, or the bracer parts, look to have some sort of grimacing visage on it, made out of, like I said, gold inlay, or what looks to be like gold or copper inlay.
If you let me see those, I can maybe identify them for you.
No. And I cast Identify.
I love the chaotic nature that is Mellow. It's my favorite.
You cast Identify?
I do.
They are gloves of ogre power.
Wow.
Increases strength to a 19.
Mm-hmm.
But they're for your hands, so we can't say feat of strength.
No, but we have great strength of feet. Steve and I are the only ones right now.
I know where that's from. I do.
You just hate me for it.
Mm-hmm.
The sheathed sword is a short sword, and you can see that it has an open ring where the pommel would be that fits into the handle nicely. There are 3 opals set inside the hilt. The hilt itself, the crossguard comes out and curves back downward, or towards the blade, if you will.
Shiny.
It looks very, very nice.
Feels like a Mellow aesthetic right there, I'm not gonna lie to you. Pretty and shiny.
I am at the very least going to hand the hands to Hannah.
Hannah looks at them, and as she does, they kind of shrink to like her size, like she could put them on. She looks at them and she kind of shrugs at you, and she says, "They're not really much worth historical. You can keep them if you'd like."
All right.
I mean, I think the clear choice for those is Zora.
When you're all out of spells, you just cast Fist.
It's the Fist Warlock.
Yep. Hey, I had a buddy, Carl, played a half-orc wizard with like a 17 or 18 strength. And that's whenever he ran out of spells, he just used his quarterstaff to beat the ever-living crap out of people.
All right.
It was sarcasm. She would not take them. She'd be like, "What am I going to do with this?"
All right. So you have the gauntlets. Who you can dole out who you're giving those to amongst yourselves. The other one is a short sword and a sheath. Pommel is round and has it's a ring, and it fits into the handle, which has 3 jewels set into the hilt. The cross guard bends out back toward the blade, and it is currently sheathed in a very, very pretty matching sheath.
Do you want me to identify that too?
Well, I mean, identify doesn't go identify that item, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it does.
Oh, okay. Double check and find out for me.
Choose one object.
Yep. Okay. So you have chosen the gauntlets. The gauntlets are gauntlets of ogre.
Would you like me to take a look at the sword, or do you want to do that?
Go right ahead.
Okay. He'll lift the sword out, place his hand on it, and he'll start ritually casting Identify.
All right. I am sending you a message. I need you to roll a d4 for me.
No.
Okay, then we'll go with my roll.
No, I'm saying this is me going. If this is what I think it is.
Use your lungs.
While he's recovering his breath,
And
Zastari is going to inquire about the gauntlets from Mello, since he was the one who identified them.
Holy shit.
These will make you stupid strong. Gotta, get used to them first.
Stupid strong how? Like...
Magic.
No. Really? I would not... She is going to very lightly punch Mello.
And one of them
No, in the
thick-ass
upper
man
arm.
titties?
No, upper arm.
Okay.
It bounces back and hits her in the face.
I am not stupid. Do not give me that shit.
So I'm going to go with my roll of 4.
Okay, I rolled a 4 as well.
Okay.
So you -1. That's the way it works.
Yeah, and I think I know what this is. I know what this is because you just mentioned it to me. But from your description, Satiel, he's holding this and starts hyperventilating.
Oh,
You wanna
shit.
tell
Take
them?
the leaves, you'll feel better.
Is this happening again? Satiel, are you okay?
Does he need a bag?
You have. He just looks up.
Take a deep breath.
He just squeaks.
Okay.
Use your words. We know you have them.
Yes, but there is. I could speak in about 7 different languages, and there isn't a single one of them that can comprehend or even encompass the amount of power that this single blade has.
So what is it?
It's just a sword.
It's a sword that can rewrite reality.
Huh.
Sarah's face is great.
There is a very, very, very small cabal of spellcasters out there in the world that is capable of casting the spell that this sword naturally holds.
Okay, and that
There's
spell
probably
is...
a reason for that.
So for those of us who don't do spellcasting, what is the spell?
He looks very, very...
Speaking to two of us right now, like, huh?
No, it's
Ezra to start, like...
The problem is he knows how powerful this thing is, and also who is in the room.
He's trying to hide what it is from Hannah.
He's not doing a very good job, but
You know what?
it's like,
If it's that powerful, maybe we should give it to somebody who's not a spellcaster then.
no.
Maybe passing it along to the person that we're supposed to pass along things to first. This is a smart idea. Hannah!
He has a death grip on this thing.
Ezra, no!
Like his
Hannah!
knuckles are white.
Hannah!
She's walking in. She's looking at you, and what's that you've got there?
Not something I'm willing to trust to anyone else.
Powerful then, is it?
Yeah. Something like that.
You know what else is powerful? The binding of a contract.
Yeah.
One that specifically says I get first choice.
Of any historical find.
I walk up to Satael and I cast Zone of Truth. What did you find?
I don't think that's really necessary, Tangaroa.
She already did it.
I don't think your hatred out loud is necessary.
You're going to cast it on a friend?
Stop. You don't know what's being cast. You are not a caster.
I rolled a 10 total, which probably fails.
How big is Zone of Truth?
Yeah. 60 feet.
And doesn't it have verbal components?
It's...
Hannah failed as well.
What do we have to roll?
However, what I do remember about the spell is it says that they're aware that it has been cast.
Oh no, it's a 15-foot radius. My mistake.
Yeah.
It is a
50-foot radius.
You are aware that it was cast after the fact that it is cast, and you are aware if they succeeded or failed.
Okay, so you know Satiel failed.
And you know that Hannah failed as well.
Yeah.
What do we have to roll against it? Because I mean, Zora's a story.
A charisma save.
Natural one.
That's what I rolled.
Okay, so my charisma would have been an 8,
is it charisma?
Not a 10.
It's a charisma save.
I haven't. Well, no, if it's plus 4. I have a 5, but a natural 1.
Okay.
I don't care to pass or fail, so I'll let it pass.
So he's still holding onto this sword, but he's aware that this has been cast on him now. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and write this down. 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range until the spell ends. A creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there makes a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the creature cannot speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know whether each creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in its answer as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth. So,
Satiel is affected.
Hannah is also affected.
So what was the question that was asked to him?
Please tell me what that is. I'm not going to take it from you.
It is something that is a sword.
You don't say.
Technically not a lie.
His rank is captain. His title is obvious.
Also, tell me what that is not a question.
I said,
she said, what do you got there?
Tell me what that is.
Not a question.
Please tell me what that is. That is a question. Anyways.
Is it very powerful?
Beyond your comprehension.
Right, it's not a question. Quest.
Jeopardy must phrase everything.
Why do you want it so bad?
Because I don't want to use it.
You'd rather have it destroyed?
I would rather it be in the hands of somebody who does not want to use it than in the hands of somebody I don't know.
What's the harm in giving it to Hannah?
Because thus far, unless it has to do with knowledge she already knows, she appears to be trying to hoard powerful artifacts for her benefactor. And this is not someone that I know, and not someone that I trust with something of this caliber.
Tonga looks over at Hannah. Do you have ill intentions with this?
I'm going to stop you right there. Because I'm going to ask as the DM to the player, what powerful artifacts has she stored away? Because so far, every piece of treasure that she's come across, she's handed it to you guys.
Yes. However, as the player, he's repeatedly been quizzing her about this thing, and she keeps getting evasive and evasive and evasive. And when she brought up this super powerful focus that she wants to keep and take and give to her benefactor, and he tried to ask her about it multiple times, and she kept diverting or just basically telling him basically to, no, I'm not going to tell you about it. And that is triggering something in him.
Got you. Okay.
As a scholar that she is not willing to divulge.
Yep. Carry on.
And
he'll look over at Hannah and say, "Do you have ill intentions with this? If we give this to you?"
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a sword. I don't really use swords. Don't really use weapons at all.
It's not so much the sword, it's the magic in the sword.
Great. I still don't know what that is.
Okay, look. A deal then. I'll tell you what this sword is, what it's capable of. If you tell me why your benefactor wants the focus of the Acumen Moors and what he intends to do with it.
I'll make that deal with you.
Okay.
You first.
This is what is known as a luck blade. Held within it is 3 charges of the Archmagus level 9th tier spell Wish. Capable of rewriting reality and performing acts of divinity that typically only the gods are capable of.
Quiet squeak from Zora.
So it's a fancy blade that will go, I can make a wish with.
Yes. A wish such as perhaps you would like to have this entire keep restored to its former glory. It could do that. It could also give untold amounts of wealth.
Okay.
It can perform acts of gods that only they typically are capable.
Have you met a god? They're kind of shite at times, let me tell you. Known one or two.
And as long as you don't burn through all of its charges, it regenerates them every day.
Well, that's fancy.
You see why I don't want this to fall into just anyone's hands. Things like this are... Entire kingdoms are razed to the ground for blades like this.
Hannah, would you like this sword?
Nope.
Then I'll take it. I'm not going to use it. I'm putting it away.
He seems rather attached. Are you sure it's something you want?
I trust him greatly. He has shown no reason for me to not trust him. But he seems a little excited, might I say, about it, and I'm not worried. I just think that if nobody has to look at it, nobody has to think about it, nobody has to use it.
Can it be used to help me find the artifact I'm looking for?
I don't see why not.
Unless it is held underneath the aspects of divine power that exceeds the strength of a wish. More than likely.
Well, what did you use to do that?
Let's finish with the other room first. I need a moment to compose myself from finding this.
Certainly.
Why don't you give me the short sword? Chew those cocoa leaves. You'll feel a lot better.
He kind of looks like he wants to, but at the same time, the Arcanist in him is keeping a white-knuckled grip on this thing.
Keep the sword, hand it over to the big one. I don't care. Are we done in here then?
There's nothing else in here, I don't think.
Then let's move on to the next room then. And she starts to stride out of the room.
He'll drop the zone of truth.
His
but
hands
he will
just
hold out. But he will hold out his hand expectantly.
Player to DM. Could one of these wishes revert the sanity loss?
I said there's probably only one way to really ever restore sanity.
Would this be it?
That would be it.
Okay. He will pause. One moment.
Stop.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Not because I don't want you to do it. I think that would be fine, but I also don't want you to screw yourself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give me 1 second before you do anything.
Yep. Yeah.
Because while I like
Papa,
watching
I'm
you
aware.
all get yourselves into trouble, it's also the same kind of fun to make sure you don't.
Yeah, because wish spells are notoriously finicky.
Zora, like off the side. Can wish spells bring back the dead?
Yes.
They can be used to mimic a true resurrection spell, yes.
Okay. And she follows Hannah.
Steve, you chaotic little turd.
The stress of casting the spell to produce any effect other than duplicating another spell weakens you.
Yeah, reduces strength by a significant amount. Cast any other spell.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. You basically, it does necrotic damage. It doesn't lower your strength.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, the wish spell is very powerful, but has a lot of drawbacks.
I am willing to allow you to do whatever you want to do with it. It's up to you, but I understand that the negative effects of the spell.
Yeah.
All right. Hannah is looking at the other room.
In addition, your strength drops to 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you become basically a kitten.
Yeah.
So you're saying you'd need the gauntlets?
It would go way past that. Way past that.
So it's like, mine's close enough already. I could.
What's 5 points off?
Yeah.
Again, while we're waiting to see what our party's going to do, don't forget we are going to be giving away Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Bandicoot's a whole other game. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Just hang around till the end of the show. We'll do a quick drawing, and then we will choose our winner. So hang out with us. We have about another 20 minutes or so. All right. Hannah has moved on to the next room. She leans back in and goes, Zastari, Do you mind checking this one first?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
I shall walk over and...
Give me your perception check on.
Zora will tell her if it's glowing or not.
She's not a glowing.
Okie dokie.
6 plus 4 for 10.
10. There is.
There's a door.
There is a door. It is not trapped, nor is it.
Okay. Nor is it locked.
Nor is it locked, nor trapped.
Okay. Is there anything glowing on the other side of this?
There does not appear to be.
No, she's asking Hannah.
I know. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
She's asking Hannah because she doesn't know. Sorry.
Hannah's like. Hannah doesn't know either.
Is there anything glowing that Zora can see from the other side?
No, there's nothing glowing in there.
Then I'll just open the door.
Okay. The door opens easily and noiselessly, which is a first. The rest of them were quite loud when you open. Stepping inside the room, it seems to be in an orderly fashion. It doesn't seem to be damaged or anything else like that. You can see that there is what appears to be a setup, not like a bedroom, but there is a bed there that's the material that used for the mattress is rotted away, so it's nothing more than the slats, which most of those are dilapidated. You can see, though, that there is a small ring of stones and a small scorch mark on the floor beneath the stones, and there seems to be some discoloration to the roof right above where the stones are. Looking around the room, you can see small animal bones here and there. The remnants, it's not just the scorch mark. Inside the circle are the remnants of a small fire being used to, like a cook fire.
Steve, I say again, you chaotic turd.
Okay. How did that door open so easily? Zastari's gonna step into the room, and she wants to take a look at the scorch marks. And she's kind of being cautious as she's walking in, because she's also looking for a way for the smoke to leave the room.
Oh, there isn't one.
Okay.
They hotboxed.
What kind of animal bones would it be something that...
Survival check.
Not with a 3.
Not sure. Small animal bones.
Okay. Is there anything else? Maybe that would appear like a spellcasting component or something? Or the residual remains of a spellcasting component? Okay.
I only throw my hands up like that because how would you know?
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not trying to be an ass, but it's like, how do you know? Yes, there are animal bones, and you think that might be used in something.
Okay. Is there anything else in this room, like a desk or an armoire?
There are bits of smashed furniture. You realize that they may have been used to kindle and keep the fire going. But there's not really much of anything else in here.
I want to touch the ashes.
Okay.
Are we talking like they're caked hard, or is it like actually a fine ash?
They are cold, but they crumble away easy enough, giving you the idea that they have not tarred. They have not become hardened.
I think it's time for us to head up.
Hannah kind of looks at you and sees the worry in your face without much of an insight. Or are you keeping your calm, cool, and collected self?
I mean, she's keeping herself calm at the very least. I mean, the door opened easily, the ashes haven't solidified, so this has clearly been somewhere somebody's been staying recently. Recently could be last week. Recently could be 4 months ago. Either way, it's been more recent than any of the other rooms. And there's no telling if somebody's going to come back to try and stay here again.
Hannah says, but we've got at the end of the hallway, there's branches off there. We've still got more left to look into.
Yes, and we've been down here for how long now?
Probably about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Hours.
Okay. Let's call it a fresh air break. Very brief. Go up, get a little sun, and we'll go back in.
I could have Axel go down one of the hallways while we step out for a moment.
Okay. She looks around at you all and says, fine. Go back upstairs. And with that, she starts clumping up the hallway. Clumping up the stairs.
Is the star who's going to walk next to her, are you in some sort of rush?
Not really. Just sort of excited about the whole prospect of things.
There has to be some sort of safety for your excitement.
And I'm going upstairs, just like you asked.
Mm-hmm.
So, safety first and all.
Well, why don't you all can go upstairs if you want. Hannah, I can take you down the hall if you'd like.
That is all right.
If you really want to keep going forward, it's okay. We're not gonna go far. Don't you want to find that artifact?
Just you and I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll join. There's no issue there.
These words that already sent Axel down one of the hallways. Invisible.
She looks at Zastari and at Mello and at Satael and at you two, and she goes, I think, as excited as I am to do all this, I think your friend is right. Maybe we should see sunlight for a moment. And she kind of hoists her pack up on her shoulder and heads up the staircase.
If you're sure, then I'll go back up.
Certainly. As you mount to the top of the staircase, Axel travels down the way. How far do you want to send him?
Tell him go as far as he can, but if it feels unsafe or if he gets any kind of, bad feeling about it, to come back.
Okay.
All the while invisible.
Yeah, he goes and comes back to you after a few minutes. You're all sitting up topside. The sun is starting to actually fade from the day, and it is far in the western sky and trailing down an orange half circle. Axel comes up and reports that he went down the left side and got to a gate that was closed and locked. He said, I could have slipped through the bars, but it didn't feel like going much farther.
Yeah.
On the other side were more rooms like this, and I didn't want to get too far in case I saw something or something saw me. So I decided to come back.
Probably a good idea. Did it look like it was locked? Or just a big lock? Couldn't tell.
Just a large lock there.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
She'll pass it on to Hannah and everyone else.
Has Satael given Tonka the blade yet?
I'll be honest, he'll probably have to pry it out of his hands.
So the answer to that question is no.
He doesn't want to let this go.
If Zora sees that, she'd be like, I can hold it.
All right. Eventually, you all come to the same conclusion that it'd probably be best to go ahead and make camp for the night, even though it's still kind of early. You don't want to get down there and be caught in the middle of the night. You've watched as they have set up a fortified position, closing off the wagons against one part of the remaining wall, allowing them to keep their backs to the wall and the wagons as a barricade in front of them. They've set up the same awning that kind of gives them cover from any of the elements that may fall. And there is currently a fire going that allows the smoke to trap and roll out from the tarp. And they have a small fire going, and you can see cookingware put out, and a campfire meal is being set up and prepared. There are several of the men who have gathered around, and they have what appears to be coney on spit, and they are roasting hare on a spit. A couple, about 3 of them, nice sized.
As they get back to camp, Satya will actually sort of grab onto a piece of Tangaroa's armor,
Mm-hmm.
and will kind of tug him over away from everybody else.
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay. I do trust you. I want you to know that me still holding on to this thing has nothing to do with that. But I want you to understand just how powerful a wish spell is. The wish spell, if used safely, it can be used to replicate any spell in existence that is of the 8th tier or lower. Anything. No components, no focus, no nothing. Just using the spell. If it's used for anything else, it invokes great stress on the caster. Pretty much makes them as weak as a kitten for days. Can't really do anything other than just rest or do very light activity. And just the stress itself could prevent you from ever using the spell again.
Then I would see no need for me to use it.
Yes, I know. And the friend in me very much wants to give it to you to hold on to for safekeeping. It's the arcanist in me that also wants to keep it. To be able to use those wishes for spells to help our party, if necessary. And I'm not sure what to do.
I'll tell you what. I'll hold on to the blade, and if we are in a dire situation, I will give it to you when I trust that nothing else can help except this wish. And then I will allow you to use it.
It is a weapon that requires you to magically attune a part of yourself to the weapon. So it will take time to link yourself to the weapon to be able to use the wishes, as far as I know.
Link yourself to it. Do what you must.
DM,
I still think it would be better to hold it.
Do you have to be attuned to use the wishes?
Okay. You do have to be attuned to the weapon to use it.
Okay. And if the weapon is handed off to somebody else, do you lose the attunement?
No.
No. Okay.
You have to willingly
relinquish the attunement. Okay.
Correct.
You have to delete the save slot.
There's only one save slot on this guy. Come on.
Yeah. He will.
Dude, you copied over my progress.
And
oh my god, Mom!
He'll find a place to sit down. He'll bring Tanjiro with him as I then watch over me for a moment.
I will.
And he will take the 10 minutes to attune to the weapon.
Okay.
And then he will.
It'll take how long?
However long it takes to attune to the weapon. It'd say the 10 minutes or an hour. I can't remember.
It's an hour.
An hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so while you're resting and eating dinner.
Yeah. So he's just off to the side, out of sort of like on. Just sort of sitting there, just attuning to the weapon. Yeah, basically. And he's asked Tongaro to watch over him while he does this.
He'll watch.
Because he doesn't want to get this wrong. And he will attune to the luck blade.
Congratulations, you are now attuned to the luck blade.
Okay.
A weapon of legendary prospect.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you settle down for the evening. You watching over each other and talking about the things you found, especially that interesting trap that was in there, and how Mello's rather quick thinking, or at least long response. Anyway. Mello's delayed response, but quick thinking allowed you all to subvert what might have been very deadly. You watch as Lambert and his men start to set up watch. In the past, when they've set up watch, they've just kind of been there. You notice now that they all have these like vests that have pieces of grass tucked into them, and they have cloaks that have these pieces of grass attached, sewn to them, and things like that. The first one that stands watch stands up against the column, kind of leaning against it, and he wraps the cloak around his front. And while he doesn't disappear from your view, you realize that if you weren't watching where he was standing and putting the cloak around himself, you would have never seen him.
Does the cloak look similar to the one that they pulled out of the armoire?
No, this is more of a ghillie suit.
Okay.
Than anything else. And as you watch, Lambert tells you all to rest for this evening, that he and his men will stand watch. Do any of you want to take a watch, or are you all resting anyway?
Zastari will, mostly because she wants to talk to Lambert in regards to who would be staying in places like the abandoned keep.
And Satiel, he will try to get all of our group together. He will put the luck blade. He will put it into Tongaroa's keeping after he's attuned to it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's buried in Tongaroa's pack, though.
Like way down in there.
Yeah. It's a short sword, so it's like yay big. Not the biggest thing in the world. And yeah. And he will use his focus to make the arcane ward around the party. He will put an alarm around the party.
Okay.
He will attune everybody in the party to it.
Okay.
And if anybody from the caravan or Hannah crosses that alarm, it will wake Satiel up.
Okay.
And he has his owl on watch for the whole night.
All right. Anybody else? Are you good?
I'd like to take a watch, but I'd like to speak with Zastari on her. So he'll take the one right just before hers.
All right. Anybody else? Is that good?
Zora would bring out the cloak and be like, I don't know if anyone could use it. It's probably not really useful for me. It's more for people trying not to be seen or sneaking.
I'm used to being seen. I think it's too small. Or unuseful for me, so I'll pass on that.
Anybody else? Looking at you, Rogue.
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but I already have the Frostbrand sword, so making sure that we're all properly equipped might be a better idea.
All right.
First, if nobody else is going to use it, then I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So you want to speak to Lambert? What would you like to speak to him about?
She just wants to get an idea of who would be wandering around here
He tells you, without going into the full accent, that he's not sure. As far as he knows, this area is abandoned. However, there have been rumors, myths, and it's one of the things that make the men here nervous, or makes his men nervous. He says, I don't believe in it. I think it's all a bunch of wash and stories, but of a race of people that have not been seen for ages on end. He says that they are fearsome to behold, standing almost a head taller than men in some cases. All of them with great hands that form wings, feathers of all sorts of colors. He says they have been referred to as the Avianas, that they fought for this territory, as the myth goes. Although the truth of it is that they were probably soldiers with intricate armor that looked like birds, but I would never put it past anyone. Between you and I, the object of which she searches for, I do not think it is a focus. I think that it is something that may have once belonged to them, but was lost. Whoever they were. But that is all I know.
Okay.
Regardless of, keep a close eye on yourself and your allies.
I will.
Yeah?
Of course. She'll share with him the room in the keep, with the door that swung open without an issue when all the others were a problem.
And it is a good thing that we have put ourselves with our back to the wall. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Rest as well as you can, Zestari. And he pats your shoulder and then wanders off to his own role.
And she'll get comfortable. So.
One thing I do want to say is before he put the sword in the pack,
Mm-hmm.
he took some strips of cloth and he wrapped it around the handle to hide the opals.
Okay.
And tied it off. So it just looks like a slightly better made short sword.
All right. You said you wanted to talk to Zestari?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm guessing she'd wake him after her watch kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she usually takes the last 2 watches. Because she only needs 4 hours meditation, then she keeps watch for the last 4.
Perfect. Either way, you're awake, he's awake, that's fine. Zestari, moment?
We have 4 hours worth of moments.
Well, we'll see if 4 hours is the conversation we need. I'm not sure if I should call it hatred or if I should just call it annoyance, towards Tangaroa.
You mean my disdain for somebody who's selfish?
Who's selfish when he's brought you up, how many times now from the cave? Almost 3?
Twice.
Twice. Oh, well, at least someone's counting where it counts. Why? Why are you angry with him? Why are you disdained? What is it? Selfishness?
That bag
Why
of
are
gold.
you angry? Yes.
That bag of gold from the fighting pits. My whole intention with that bag was to give it to the monks in an effort to help the poor of the city.
That seems very personally, from what I've seen throughout our travels, a little uncharacteristic of you.
And you claim that how?
Giving to the poor. I've seen you just take things, Zestari.
I've taken items and a crown that I couldn't just turn into gold.
Okay.
Any money? I wound up with a little bit extra money after we finished in Jopis Landing. You know what I did with that extra money? I gave it to the monks.
Oh, okay. So now we understand what you do with your money.
And of course, we're not going to talk about the fact that I paid for your scrying through no asking. I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do. And we're, of course, not going to discuss the fact that I hold on to items that I give to the rest of the party because I feel like it would be beneficial for them. But no, right. I'm the selfish one because I know how to pick locks.
Zastari, I'm not saying you're selfish because you pick locks.
I
didn't say you were selfish at all. Stop! Actually, stop talking for a brief moment. I don't get angry. You know this. As much as I am down for hitting and punching things, I don't actually actively get angry unless something that happens to me or my family is involved. And you've seen that up front. All I'm seeing is you being angry towards someone who has done nothing but helped you. So what if Tongaroa used money to get something to make himself stronger for the sake of this party?
So...
Wait. Tongaroa is one of our front lines. Even if he may have done something stupid against that hill giant and going in, do you want to know what it was about? It was about protecting us, even if it caused him to go down. I understand your annoyance, and I also understand now, just this moment, that you give money to the poor. So, if you want to be annoyed, I understand. I get that. But continuously just picking at him isn't going to make him want to help you when you go down again. Some of us know spells, some of us know how to hit, some of us know how to stay hidden. We all have our own talents. And we're all traveling together. It's not good to make rifts with people. Maybe talking to Tongaroa instead of belittling him would be better. To be honest, this is all I wanted to talk about. And my conversation is actually done.
You wanted to talk to me about the Triton.
Yes, actually.
Who, hang on, convinced the party to go out on his little boat that summarily wound up putting all of us in the water when we got attacked, when we could have chartered said journey on a ship that would not have wound up putting us in the water, where some of us could have drowned because some of us don't know how to swim.
Did you drown? Did anybody drown?
Through Satiel's help? No, I did not, but it was very close.
There are many of us that can swim, Zastari, I understand.
No, you can let me finish.
Sure.
In addition, he commissioned a piece of armor that he didn't even have the money for? That doesn't sound very responsible to me. And then his actions in there, where Satiel, who has done nothing but be honest with us, who has not lied to us, wants to keep an artifact, or a magical item out of the hands of somebody we have no idea is going to do something with it, and Tangaroa has to put him to the 10th degree just to find out what's going on. And I'm sorry, you want me to believe that he's not selfish when none of that has thus far pointed me in the direction to believe anything else? Sure, he helps me out in situations where
you could die.
Things get out of hand. But that doesn't change the fact that his actions, other actions, not just the ones in combat, have not endeared me to him.
Everything seemed fine before the fight. In the pits that you invited him to. That's just my observation.
Speaking of observation, I need both of you to give me perception checks at disadvantage.
Well, that's a 3 on the die. Plus 4 for 7.
Do you want to try to see if it go lower?
14.
No, that was at disadvantage.
Okay.
I will say the owl as well, because I did mention he was staying watch all night.
Please do. He does not. Actually, yes, they will still have a disadvantage.
The owl?
Yes, the owl.
Okay, no, that's fair. So that's a straight roll,
Uh-huh.
which puts him at a 15.
Okay.
12 plus 3.
The reason for disadvantage is because of this.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What did Axel have?
13.
So the highest was what?
15.
15. I was a 14.
Okay.
My owl, because he has advantage on perception checks. So it'd be a straight roll for him.
The owl hoots once, and the sound of scrabbling rock tumbling down as though broken off pieces. And immediately, Satiel, your brain alarm starts ringing.
He's up.
The two of you bite back the next comment from both of you as you look up to see a large figure, both of its talons of its feet wrapped around the edge of the wall, a long curved sword sitting there with its hand on it, feathers gleaming in the black feathers gleaming in the moonlight. It tilts its head and you catch its eyes lighting up for a second. It clicks its beak at you and says, "If you are trying to stay hidden, you would do better with less noise." And as you look up at the raven figure, he spins the blade and puts it on his back, leaps down from the wall and stands. How tall is Ezra again?
I've actually been going over his height. I've been including his height without his horns. He's 6'8" to the top of his head, but he's 7'1" with his horns.
All right. The raven that lands in front of you is just a little shorter than he is.
Okay.
But still with his shoulders straight. He looks at you and says, "You've wandered into our home. You will have to explain yourselves." But that can wait for next week as we wrap up tonight's session. I want to thank all of my players. Maddie, who is our host, who is fantastic. If you watched during the holiday break, we had the recaps, all done by the magnificent Maddie. She took the time out to record those and put them all together for us. So thank you for all of that you do. I greatly appreciate you. Sarah, who is joining us, Maddie is playing as Astari. Sarah is playing as Zora. We have the fantastic Eric, who DM'd for us yesterday at Adventurers League here in Huntsville. And he did a lot better than what I ever, that he gave me confidence in. And before he was like, "I'm not a very good DM," but he seemed like he had a pretty good time with people and they enjoyed themselves. So that's what matters.
I killed somebody.
Eric killed somebody. So there you go. Eric is playing Setiel. We have V, who is going to be Wednesday Monster of the Week. What did you call the name of it again?
Eyes of the Fallen.
Eyes of the Fallen. So look for that in your schedule. The first game for that will be next Wednesday. We have Steve playing Mellow, who is coming in the clutch with great ideas, even if they are a little slow to roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
And
take a minute to.
They just take a second to percolate.
Yeah.
I just like my kid's just sitting there being his chaotic self, just going, "I wonder how long they're going to do this before they finally talk to me."
Oh, it takes a minute to heat up.
That's what it is.
Ooh, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
But the question is, are his ideas more like Hot Pockets, where they kind of heat up and they go off, but you bite into them, they're ice cold in the middle?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Well, thus far, he's been perfectly warmed all the way through, so...
It depends on where he puts it in the microwave that is his noggin.
That's
fair.
Before this entendre. Thank you. Before this entendre goes any deeper. And then we had...
And then another entendre.
There we go. And then we had Molly playing the very proud, astute, and upright Tangaroa, who is one of our players for Thursday night as well. Are you going to be playing on Wednesday? Who's playing on Wednesday?
I've got Maddie and Molly.
And I know that over on the chat, I think, is Decca joining you?
Decca, we've got Jason, we've got Jordy from Thursdays, and actually I have brought a new member into the folds that is actually a coworker of mine. He's really excited to play. He's
awesome.
Cody. He joined a couple weeks ago, I believe.
Excellent. One more second. If you want to win the game, again, it's Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Type in Avianus. I've typed it in there, AVIANUS. Type in the keyword. You can win a chance to win. That goes for everybody. I'm going to open this up for everyone, so please feel free to roll in there if you'd like to get a chance to win the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Thanks to all of our patrons and all of our viewers and anybody who supports us. Bubba, I saw that you subscribed again tonight for us, so thank you very much for that. In the meantime, let's see who wins. Rolling for it right now. And our winner is annoyed and confused. Congratulations. I will be messaging you here shortly with the Steam key for that. In the meantime, please come back again tomorrow night. Esper Genesis will be playing underway. I have talked to Jason, the GM from that. He says that they will be going on for about another couple of months, looking like about March, and then they'll be playing something else. So tune into that, especially if you like sci-fi. It looks like they're having a lot of fun playing in the game.
Tomorrow's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. We left on a cliffhanger.
Oh my goodness! Right before the holiday, it should have been. Go ahead and tune in tomorrow night for Esper Genesis. On this Wednesday, we don't have anything, but you can always pop over to We Are Nerdsmith and watch Obscurum. I also left on a cliffhanger as they had a phone call from one of the more mysterious people in the city, and they'll learn more about this person. And that is on Wednesdays over on We Are Nerdsmith. And then on Thursdays, we have Maddie, who is running Curse of Strahd for at least 2 more weeks, maybe?
1 more week for sure.
Okay.
Depending on what they do this week, determines whether or not we run for another week.
Depending on if they die or not? Okay. Then after that...
No. But you should tune in, because that shit's going to get weird, and it's going to get fun.
I heard that Strahd has no pants.
Justifiably so. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Strahd is definitely wearing pants. He may be shirtless, but he's definitely wearing pants.
Oh, yikes.
It's an illusion.
Clothing is just an illusion you put on. All right, so with that being said, after Curse of Strahd ends, Maddie will be running Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, and then we have a lot going on. Again, we'll be at Winter Fantasy, and we want to thank everybody. If you love what we do and what we put on here, we'd love to have you as a patron. I've got some changes coming up to that where I'll actually be posting shit that I'm typing up. And there are other projects underway with the Dire Bear logo on them. So keep your eyes tuned in for that. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Thank you all. I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday, and we will see you all next time. Good night, everyone.